'Cause it's VGSquirrel.
Duh!
Alright, I think I finally found one I can end on. Good job, dude. Alright, yeah. I think that's enough Smash Bros. For today.
What the hell? The Christmas tree's still up? How long have I been playing Smash Bros? Oh my god, Ryu, it's just you. What a relief. Hey, by the way, man, congrats on the new Smash Bros. Game, man. That game is awesome. Huh? Other game? Ryu, what are you talking about? Oh my god, Ryu, you cannot be serious. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? That game was irrelevant when I first talked about it. Hadouken! I mean, yeah, Ryu, I made a promise, but that Marvel video took a long time and a lot of effort. And the Capcom one's gonna take just as long, if not even more. I don't know if I can do something like that again. So you can! That joke's overplayed. But you're right. I made a promise. Thanks, Ryu.
You win. Perfect.
Before we start, let's hit on a few points. So I'll start off by saying I highly recommend you watch the top 10 Marvel characters video first, as I'll be referencing some of my choices from that list, and also I give a little bit more of a history on the series in that video. Secondly, although there's many Capcom characters I would like to see return, please come back, Jin, I miss you so damn much, I'm going to be sticking with only newcomers. Finally, don't expect to see many characters from franchises that are already in the series. I always see crossover games as a celebration of a company as a whole. Thus, the more obscure and out there we get, the more excited I get. I'm a big fan of a lot of Capcom's work, as are probably most of you. I just think it's important to try to make sure that all of their wonderful franchises get a chance to shine. And with that, I think we're ready to go. So, finally, these are my top 10 Capcom characters that I want added to MVCI. Or at this point, Marvel vs. Capcom 4. So starting off this list, we're going to be a little unconventional. Now, Capcom is known for making great original games, right? Yeah, sure. You have your Mega Man games, your Street Fighters, etc. But you know what else they're known for? Making great licensed games. With guest characters being all the rage in fighting games as of late, I figured it might be time to add some to Marvel vs. Capcom. Okay, yes, it might be redundant to add guest characters to a crossover game, but let's be honest, if we're adding characters to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, we need to bring some excitement back into the game. And one character that I think would really get the Capcom fans revved up would be none other than Shin Kazuma from UN Squadron. Yes, the main character from UN Squadron, or the manga/anime it's based off of, Area 88, would be an awesome addition. Now I know you're saying, Darren, Shin doesn't fight, and in the series he doesn't like to fight. This is true, but that doesn't mean he isn't good at it. Shin is an excellent pilot with a massive arsenal, and I think that could be implemented into Marvel vs. Capcom. His special attacks would be slow, but would have great range. I kind of see him acting like Joe the Condor from Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. By this I mean, he gets aerial assistance for his hyper combos, whether it be from his Area 88 companions, or his own F-20A Tiger Shark. However, I think Shin's normal attacks would be quick, but weak. Hell, we've seen other pilots get movesets in other fighting games, so why not Shin? I mean, the way I see it, if you can give Phoenix Wright a moveset, you can give anyone a moveset. Also, have you seen Shin? That dude is so cool. Oh. 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 Hey, you know what Capcom is pretty well known for? Making licensed games. Okay, I promise this is the last guest character. But come on, if you're thinking of a representative for licensed Capcom games, what better character can you have than Scrooge McDuck? Look, this one is so obvious that I think everyone would be on board. DuckTales is considered to be a Capcom masterpiece, as are most other Capcom Disney games. But let's be honest, Scrooge represents their Disney tie-ins the best. With him bouncing off of enemies with his cane, riding on minecarts, and slapping blocks at foes, Scrooge would be a perfect fit. Also, can you imagine a Howard the Duck versus Scrooge McDuck fight? That is something I want to see. Oh, and of course, his ultimate hyper combo would have to be something related to all of that gold in his money bin. Now, I know that Scrooge could technically be on the Marvel side due to the whole Disney ownership thing, but let's be real. When you think of DuckTales, what's one of the first things you think about? That's right, the video game made by Capcom. So this one's purely on the list because I love you guys. Aww. No! Stop it! Alright, fine. Now I know there are several people out there that are big fans of Breath of the Wild. I mean, I always do this. Breath of Fire. Now excuse me as I'm capturing this from a Japanese version of the game, because, yeah. I did not want to pay for those prices. So I've always heard great things about Breath of Fire, and the main character from this series should definitely be playable. Now what's his name? Let's see. You're fucking kidding me. It's Ryu. The character's name is Ryu. Really? Well, yeah. Ryu would be a cool character, I think. He's a skilled swordsman that can use whatever spells and items are available in the game. Let me remind you, I've barely played it. But what's actually important is that he can turn into a dragon. Alright, I'm sold. You should be too. Pack it up, boys, and move it to the next one. I'm just staring at lights. Oh, my eyes. Here's another highly requested one. Regina from the Dino Crisis games. This is another series I'm not too familiar with, but after playing for a bit, oh yeah, I can understand the appeal. For those who don't know, take what made Resident Evil popular in the first place, and replace the zombies with dinosaurs. So in a very similar fashion, let's take the basis of Jill's moveset from MVC2, please, and add dinosaurs into the mix. Instead of having dogs sprint across the screen, replace them with a raptor. Maybe have some pterodactyls fly in instead of Jill's crows. Get creative with it. Maybe even have a T-Rex come in to do some damage. Now that I think about it, this might be a little too similar to another character I want. But how could you not want a Regina versus Devil Dinosaur match? Also, of course, give Regina her weapons like her pistol, shotgun, darts, and loads of other ones. Maybe even give her a tether so she can easily climb up the screen. Man, for a character I barely know, I really want her in now. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I love me some Street Fighter. But you know what I don't love? When they add Street Fighter characters to Marvel vs. Capcom. I never get excited about that. What I love in my Marvel vs. Capcom is the wacky/obscure side of Capcom. Adding Street Fighter characters just feels lame to me. But in the Versus series, we've never had representation from one Street Fighter game. And I don't think it's the one you're expecting. Yes, I think they should add Ken to the game. Alright, so Ken might not be a newcomer, but you can bet your ass this one would be. Okay, so it would honestly be up to Capcom to decide if they want to continue with it being a form of Ken, or if they were to go with the original Japanese name of Kevin Stryker, as he wasn't originally intended to be Ken. But I do think they could give a nod to Ken by possibly giving him some of Ken's moves. On top of that though, he would be unique in that he has his series of rapid punches, shots, slash whatever he's doing here. And also, the fact that he flips around like a madman. You could even give him some teleport moves and you have a totally unique, totally original Street Fighter character that's never actually appeared in a fighting game before. Honestly, I think it would be fun for Capcom to reference the black sheep of the Street Fighter franchise. So as I said at the start of this video, I'm really more interested in adding characters from series that have not yet been represented, or characters from overlooked entries in their series. But there's one character from an already existing series that I feel truly deserves to be in the limelight. Dr. Albert Wily. Look, out of all of the Capcom franchises, my favorites are Street Fighter and Mega Man. Sorry, Resident Evil, I haven't really gotten to play you yet, so Leon just doesn't interest me. I have no sort of bias towards him. But why would Wily be a great choice? Well, for one, he gives classic Mega Man a villain, and second, he would be one of the most unique characters on the roster. Wily would definitely have to be in some sort of mech, but he would be able to use moves from his other vehicles. But also, he could potentially work like Captain Commando, and have different robot masters jump in to aid with his attacks. Also, of course, you would have to have his hyper combos, bring in the Yellow Devil, or some of his other giant robots. There's way too much potential here for Wily to be overlooked. Now, if there's one character that I think was made for the ridiculousness of Marvel vs. Capcom, it's Asura from Asura's Wrath. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He starts his game jumping off of a flying battleship and diving towards a planet while taking out giant alien monsters. That should be enough, but look at the insanity of this game. Also, if you need more proof, let's just watch this clip together. And that's why Asura needs to be added to Marvel vs. Capcom. When compiling this list together, I felt I needed to really do some digging into the Capcom vault to try and find a character that many may not have considered. I feel as though the most overlooked Capcom games are perhaps their earliest entries. You know, their line of arcade games. During this research is when I came across Legendary Wings. Legendary Wings is a 2D shooter that was released to arcades in 1986. In it, you play as Michelle Hart or Kevin Walker, and take to the skies of an ancient Greece-like land in order to take down an evil supercomputer. What makes this game so unique, though, is it not only has overhead sections, but also side-scrolling sections that involve a little bit of platforming, depending on the version you're playing. I think Legendary Wings is a creative and overlooked Capcom game that could use some more love. However, Capcom hasn't completely forgotten about it over the years. It was on the first Capcom Classics collection, and Michelle Hart was actually an assist character in Marvel vs. Capcom 1. So with that, we're gonna give the edge to Michelle Hart as the Legendary Wings rep. In terms of her moveset, some of her attacks could of course be her shots, bombs, as well as upgrades for those attacks. I don't think we're stretching here when we say she would probably have the power of flight, considering, you know, the giant wings attached to her back. Then for some of her hyper combos, she could use her Firebird form, a flurry of different shots, and finally, have the Dragon Boss come in and breathe fire. Man, for some reason I am all about giant reptiles coming in and attacking on these lists. Oh well, I can live with that flaw, if you can call it a flaw.
Ahoy, mateys! Let me take you back to the year 2007 and introduce you to a buried treasure known as Zack and Wiki. Arrgh.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that for this whole section. But yes, Zack and Wiki is once again an overlooked Capcom game. When thinking of this list, I knew immediately who number 2 and number 1 were going to be. I rented Zack and Wiki back when it came out and always thought they had a lot of potential to be MVC characters. This is mainly due to Wiki's transformation mechanic, where Zack rings Wiki like a bell and can transform nearby animals into different tools, such as a bug turning into a saw, or a snake turning into a gripper. With the nature of this game being a point-and-click adventure game, Zack and Wiki also interact with a ton of objects, so you can implement that into their moveset as well. So taking all of this into account, we have a character that is absolutely bursting with potential. Zack and Wiki have so many robust options that it makes Dante envious. Capcom, please, bring Zack and Wiki into this game. You won't regret it. It baffles me. It baffles me that Capcom has ignored this franchise for so long. Power Stone is a game series that absolutely needs to make a comeback, and it is honestly mind-boggling that none of the Power Stone characters have made their way into the MVC series. And of course, if we have to pick one character to represent the series, it has to be Edward Falcon. Let's delve into the options here. You get all of his standard attacks, you get his Power Stone attacks, you get all of the different weapons, the vehicles, I'm honestly so frustrated that this is being ignored. You can even implement Falcon crashing his plane in a hyper combo, like the Hulk's Gamma Crush one. And as mentioned, the Infinity Stones are in the game, and one of them is the Power Stone.
Oh, Power Stone. The name makes sense now you explained it like that.
Don't you think having Edward Falcon in this game would have made so much sense in the story? Like, wouldn't he be the perfect Capcom character to have searching for the stones? Capcom, please, put Falcon in the next Marvel vs. Capcom. No, not that Falcon. Edward Falcon. Capcom, I implore you, this needs to happen. Acknowledge that this franchise exists, and get Power Stone into MVC. Oh, and make a new Power Stone game. So those were my top 10 Capcom characters that I want added to Marvel vs. Capcom, whether it be Infinite or 4 at this point. Guys, I'm sorry that this took so long. You know, I've been kind of experimenting with the channel this past year, you know, seeing what worked, what didn't, and, you know, these videos, they take a lot out of me, you know. I started capturing all this footage right after the Marvel video, but just for whatever reason, you know, I thought I needed to get a game feeder out first, which that one took a while, and then there's just a lot that goes into these videos, and sometimes it's hard for me to justify working on the VGSquirrel stuff just because of other priorities in life right now. But I really do enjoy making it, and I love making it, and I want to continue making it. But it's just been a bit difficult this past year, for a whole variety of reasons. But these videos are my favorite ones. I'm not going to make any promises of which one's going to be next, because honestly, doing that, I think, made this one not as fun for me after a while, because I was like, no, it has to be the Capcom video. So, yeah, we'll see what goes on with the future, but those are just some of my thoughts. Also, if you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Of any video, one of these VGSquirrel Acorny review top 10 videos. These are definitely the most time-consuming videos to make. just due to a large variety of reasons. Also, when I launch this video, I should be launching a Patreon. I'm hoping the same day. If that's not up right now, then it should be up sometime soon. Patreon is something right now that could definitely help me put more focus on the channel. I know it sucks that money has to be a thing, but, you know, right now I've kind of been focusing on jobs and other things, you know, because this is just so time-consuming. So, if you want to support the channel, please feel free to, but I'm absolutely not expecting anyone to. There should be a video at the end with a Patreon video, and then that will kind of discuss everything further. But guys, thank you for being so supportive during this period of time. It's been a bit tough lately, but it's gonna be okay. Guys, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the nice words I get for these videos. So, thank you, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye.